before I introduce myself, I really want to say I appreciate you clicking on the video, and I would even more greatly appreciate it if you watched it in its entirety. It has to do with just making the world a safer place and a better place for you and I as a motorcycle rider. That being said, my name is Landon Michael Pitts. I'm a 30-year-old from Hammond, Louisiana, and I absolutely love motorcycles. Think about them all day long. I'm just a complete motorcycle enthusiast. Anything that has to do with sports bikes, you know. I mean, I like Harleys and stuff too, but sports bikes are really my thing. Anyway, so June 12th, 2015, almost 6 months to having my very first bike. Excuse me. I was involved in an accident that nearly took my life. I was in an eastbound lane on a 2-lane highway. The other gentleman was headed towards me in the westbound lane and trying to turn into, we'd come up on a T, and there was a road to the right of me. So he was trying to turn across my lane to go onto that road. There was an SUV in front of me, and I might have been driving a little closer to him than I should have, but not extremely close. And I had even veered out into the center lane because I knew that the intersection was coming up. I thought I made eye contact with the individual that was trying to turn across, and I believe he was looking at his cell phone. It's not a fact, I don't know. However, I thought he was looking at me. Thought I made eye contact. He never saw me. There was a vehicle behind me that he was trying to beat, oblivious to the fact that I was there, and turned across, and I slammed into his passenger door. As I flipped over, the back of my helmet caught the roof of his car, ripping the strap and buckle from my neck. And in some of these pictures you'll be able to see all the lacerations from the strap, the strength of the strap being pulled. But I didn't stop there. I continued to flip. I even reached for the car, you know, and it being slick and everything. I just kept going, and landed directly on my face about 30 to 40 yards from the scene of the accident. And I was only going 60 miles an hour. Speed limit was 55 on the highway, but I was ejected, you know. It was pretty scary. I died twice on the way to the hospital, and once more there. They were able to stabilize me and do 13 hours of facial reconstruction because of all the fractures to my jaw, and all the bones in my face were all broken up. But you really can't tell. Anyway, so because of the seriousness of this accident, I was basically glued to a couch for a minimum of 6 weeks. I healed pretty rapidly, but I was just stuck. You know, there's nothing you could do in the first few weeks after trying to headbutt death, and all I could do was watch YouTube. I became completely obsessed with why I got in the accident I did. And I just started watching accident after accident after accident, analyzing everything that I could about them, whether it was the motorcycle's fault or the other people, the other drivers around them. And I found that 2/3 of the accidents on the road are because people are completely oblivious to the motorcycle being there. They're either on their phone, eating, applying makeup, whatever, or there's an obstruction, another vehicle or something didn't allow them to see them. Now 1/3 of them, and it's generally people that drive sports bikes, do kind of drive crazy, and it's their fault. You know, they run up into it. Besides whether or not whose fault it is, I come up with a few things that would make everything completely safer on the road for everybody around, but especially the person driving the bike. It's just something, I just became so obsessed with it and engulfed with the reasons why we're at risk on a bike. that it just, anytime I would see any new technology or anything on the internet via Facebook or whatever, I'd be like, why can't we do that for a motorcycle? And I guess the only answer is because they don't think like I do. They're not obsessed. Never mind whatever the technology is, that it's just not being applied to motorcycles. And there's so many things out there. I'll give you, for instance, it's not a holographic technology, but if you can imagine a hologram, like in all the sci-fi movies, there's now a technology out there where your blinkers and your brakes no longer have to be on the bike. I'm sure they'll still always be there, and I would like to do something where they're implemented on the jacket, the boots, and the helmet. But there's a technology out there that whenever you tap your blinker, it will throw your blinker up the shape, the triangle and the square block above your head. When you tap on your brake, it will throw a red octagon shape behind your head. If somebody's driving a dually or something, jacked up truck, they're not going to see you hit your brakes. They're not going to pay attention to something 3.5 feet off the ground. But if something is trajected above your head, big enough for them to see, it's right there in everybody's face. And that's something really, really neat. The second thing is I designed an entire smart system for a motorcycle. As you'll see in some of the photos I have, there are many stories of other motorcycle enthusiasts that got in wrecks, and it was weeks before they found them. They were either off in the woods, or there was one here in New Orleans recently, right around Christmas time, that the man was trying to pass somebody, and he was ejected off of his motorcycle into Lake Pontchartrain, and it was a few weeks before they found him. And my system will not only have a GPS data location device on it, where it also links to your phone, but it will automatically alert EMTs and emergency services if you got in the accident. I guess the main reason that I decided to make this video is because I know all the statistics. I know how likely you are to get hit on a bike, and the truth is that 13 people die every day in the United States on a motorcycle. And I can't write these programs by myself. I know exactly how they run, how they operate, and I know the hardware needed. It's not that expensive. But I've written letters. I made a video similar to this and sent it into Scully Systems when they were still a company, and just asking them if I could come work for them, and that I had some really, really good ideas to apply to make their product even better. But I can't do this stuff by myself. I'm not a computer programmer. I'm not an engineer. But I figured if I make the video, eventually it's going to get to Yamaha, or, Kawasaki, or BMW. But I'm tired of seeing, posts on the internet of people that died on a motorcycle. I've got a buddy here. I'm in a group called Slammer, the Southern Louisiana Association of Motorcycle Riders, and there's a buddy of mine who also had a love for motorcycles, who died almost under the exact same conditions that I got in my wreck in. He's got a son that's almost, I think, maybe 3 weeks difference in age from my son, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of him, his son, because I see some of the stuff this little guy's going through, how much he misses his dad, and I know how close that I came to putting my son through that, and I want to change it. I don't want to see posts on the internet anymore of families devastated because somebody died on a motorcycle. You know, the system that I have isn't that simple, and there's a lot more details to it. But I need to sit down with a company that has the means to make it a reality, to really be able to throw it out there. I don't want to put everything on the internet that I'm trying to do, because then they just take it and say thanks. You know, I'm not trying to get rich. It's not off of greed. I mean, that would be awesome, but I would love a career in this industry. I mean, I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, and at the same time, I can't just sit here and stay quiet because, well, I don't want somebody to take my idea. They might make some money from it. People are dying. 13 people are going to die tomorrow, and then 13 people are going to die the next day and the next day. And I'm not okay with that. So, anyway, I appreciate your time, and I would really appreciate it if you would repost this. If motorcycles mean something to you, or you love somebody that motorcycles mean something to them, please repost it, and eventually it's going to get to you know, Senna or HJC or Araya, any you know, a multitude, all these companies. You know, there are many different facets and levels to what it is that I'm trying to do, and some of them also include getting a few laws changed or critiqued to better suit the safety of you know, cyclists. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and I thank you for checking this out.